welcome to be here in our counseling. I'm here with Sharon Davida. I'm excited to be in her office and talk to her a little bit about difficulties with stress and people taking care of themselves. But for now, I would like to read a little bit about Sharon's credentials, which are quite very impressive. Sharon is a licensed acupuncturist in the state of California and is nationally certified as a diplomat of Oriental medicine. She has an extensive background in Western medicine, having served as an army medic. She is widely trained in various types of bodywork modalities and has been providing excellent service in the health field for more than 15 years. Using her diverse skill set, Sharon has trained hundreds of people in the healing arts. She completed her master's degree in traditional Oriental medicine at DULA, graduating summa cum laude. She recently opened Agoura Wellness Center in the beautiful Agoura Hills to provide the community with holistic wellness services. Thank you for having me here, Sharon.
Thank you for coming to visit me.
So tell me a little bit, what drew you to this practice of acupuncture?
Well, as you said, I've been in the practice for a long time, taught massage therapy for many years, and I always felt that I'm just touching the surface of what I can do to help people and feeling better. And then several years into practicing massage therapy and teaching it, I realized it's time to grow and develop more into the knowledge. And I've always been a loving student. So basically I decided to go back to school to learn more of how I can help people. And through the process of doing that, I realized that Chinese medicine has so much to offer into all of the body system and how to combine the energetics and the physical aspects of healing. And decided to pursue that and learned that I like helping more women and specifically in fertility. So I specialize in that as well.
Oh, okay. I would like to talk a little bit more about your specialties and services a little bit later along the interview, but tell us a little bit more. You mentioned energetics and body. Can you tell us a little bit more, and how does this differ from regular Western medicine? When I say Western, I mean traditional modern medicine.
So I think in Western medicine, what it ended up being, except for when it's really needed for any kind of surgical or emergency therapy, what it became to be is what people use to treat symptoms. And I don't think the body works like that and just shutting down the brain from realizing the signals that the body is telling it. It's very important for us to actually realize what are the symptoms trying to tell us and to understand what's the root cause of the illnesses that we have and treat that instead of actually telling the brain, don't tell us what's going on. And that's exactly what a lot of the drugs that are being used by Western medicine are doing. They're just shutting down what the body's trying to tell us. And it's important to listen to the body, find out what it's trying to tell us, and then treat the root cause, and then all the symptoms disappear. A lot of the times when I use Chinese medicine and I ask people all the many questions that I ask them in the beginning of the treatment, they don't understand why am I asking them all of these questions that are seemingly unrelated to what they're having. But in the diagnosis process, I realized that I take from here and there and there and combine it into understanding what is the diagnosis under Chinese medicine. Eliminating that root cause will eliminate a lot of the symptoms that they experience.
The reason why I actually wanted to do this video with you is because I am practicing, it's called sensory motor psychotherapy, and it's really related to body to processing emotional pain and any other trauma that you may have. Besides, we call it cognitive and emotional processing. Besides cognitive emotional, we process it through our bodies, because that trauma and whatever happened stays in the body. And if you don't process it through the body, it may be stuck there for a long time. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to expand a little bit more. And I do like to refer my clients to different body workers, such as you and people that you work with.
And I completely agree with you. Just to add a little bit on, it is impossible to separate the body from the emotions. And that's another thing that Western medicine is lacking at. They basically put everything into compartments. So you need behavioral therapy or psychotherapy, and then, you have physical symptoms. But they go hand in hand, and a lot of the times when you have an emotional, if it's trauma or just everyday stress, we internalize it into the body, and then we have symptoms that are coming out of that, or illnesses that if you ignore stuff for a long run, it becomes an illness.
So as I work with many of my clients, I work mainly with women, but I work with men as well. A lot of people experience stress and they don't even realize how it may affect their lives. The people are just kind of, I write a lot about how we are raised to be able to accomplish as much as possible in lives, and we feel we need to be the best of everything, the best mothers, the best, we compete with ourselves and with what we think we should be like in every aspect of our lives. And I noticed that many women struggle with, not specifically women, but it's not foreign to men either, with not taking care of themselves. So what are some of your recommendations for managing stress?
I think the most important thing is, first of all, acknowledging that you're in that state, that you are stressed, and it is okay, and it's not normal. Because a lot of women that come into this clinic say, I'm okay, I'm managing it. But they're not. Just saying that it's tolerable doesn't mean that it's okay and that it's normal. And you are correct. A lot of women put themselves at the last thing in the list. And if they have maybe 5 minutes at the end of the day before they collapse, then they do something about it. So my recommendation is, first of all, to deal with it all the time. Not to leave it for later, not to accumulate and then explode or fall apart. I recommend to just stop for a second, even close your eyes for 2 minutes, meditate for 5 minutes, take a power nap during the day, whatever you can do in order to just stop it during the day, not wait for it. Of course, if you do put yourself first or higher in the list, you can always do yoga and do a longer meditation. Tai Chi is amazing. If you exercise, you know how that feels as well. So basically, take care of yourself, not to put yourself last. But start with little things that you can accomplish without taking so much time. And the most important thing is not to give excuses, because there's always many things that you need to do. And I always say to my children when they freak out about something, will someone die if you don't do it today? You know, just move it from tomorrow's list if it's not an emergency, and you don't have to finish it by now.
I used to say to my colleagues, I used to work in a community mental health, and they were feeling so stressed out about paperwork, you know, and I'm like, okay, people, we are not doing heart surgeries or brain surgeries, so we are not going to harm anybody if we don't finish it by tomorrow, and you know. So, but back to these activities that you mentioned. You were talking about meditation, taking a nap, and they all seem to be very different. But what's important about them is that they actually reset our nervous system. in different ways, and your body may feel differently. And I think there is a way to listen to your body and know, okay, I need meditation now I need more vigorous activity. So to do some cardio or yoga. And in terms of my clients, in terms of people who are traumatized, we often have the most obvious consequences of trauma are these ranges between depression and anxiety, and both. So when you're feeling down and depressed, I recommend usually doing some vigorous activity. And when you're feeling anxious, maybe slowing down at that moment, but then you can also do that vigorous activity at other times to maintain your body in a healthy state.
Exactly. I think also just starting the day that way. We tend to just, sometimes it's hard to get out of bed, but most people, the minute they open their eyes, they start thinking about the long list of things that they have to do, and they usually jump out of bed and just start going. And there and then, those 5 minutes beginning of the day, if you meditate and go inside and set the intention for the whole day, I want to be more calm. I don't want to react to things in out of perspective. Whatever it is, the intention that you have for that day, to set it, and then just have those 4 minutes left to just relax and see yourself in that better place. And that just sets the tone for the rest of the day.
It's a great point. The fact of the matter is that these stress systems in our body are created there, by God or by nature, whatever you believe in, to kind of help us run away from danger, from a tiger. But if we start our day running and like going into traffic, and is anything that important to be so stressed out, and just remembering, okay, tiger is not chasing me right now. Okay, I'll be a little bit late to work. I'll get some bad, glances from my co-workers or somebody, but everything will be fine. Nobody's gonna die. I don't do heart surgery or anything like that.
And even if you do heart surgery,
right?
It's
you have to be calm.
Exactly. It's just the way that you deal with things that just change the environment. If you walk into your office, let's say you're late by your example. If you walk in and you're tensed up and looking at everybody, then everybody is going to notice you and like, oh, you're late. But if you walk in, you just all calm and smile towards everybody. How can they give you, a bad look if you're just, happy that you made it? It's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I notice when I get late, I really try not to be, because I like to respect people. But when I do get late, I say, I'm so sorry, I mismanaged my time. And everybody just, because you cannot own it up.
Exactly.
And I mismanaged my time, and they have nothing to say, They can't accuse me and tell me, oh, you lie, we all have traffic, So tell me, what are some myths and misconceptions about stress and in general about your practice?
Okay. So I think kind of going back to what we were talking about, stress before, and men and women, kind of differentiating between the two, men tend to think that whatever they have is normal, and everybody has stress, and everybody has back pain, and everybody has neck pain, and it's normal. And a lot of times when I say, okay, you have this pain, but let's figure out what's causing the pain, they say, oh, I'm driving too much, I'm sitting too much. But there's a lot of people that drive too much and sit too much, and they don't have back pain. So we're trying to figure out what kind of stressors you have in life that cause that stagnation in the body, and removing not only the stagnation physically, but also dealing with the stress and kind of preventing it from going back to the stagnated state. And for women, as I said, they more kind of rationalize it. Oh, yes, I have stress. I'm aware that I have stress, but I manage it. So it is possible that they are doing things to actually make their situation better, like meditating or doing yoga or exercising. But usually I find it when I ask, what's your stress level from 1 out of 10? And they say 8, but I'm managing it. So it's still very high. It's still 10. We know for a woman is like everybody's dying around me, you know, and I can't save them. So basically, living in that state every day is still not normal, and obviously it's not manageable if you're still saying that you're at an 8. So I think basically what people need to do in order to get to that point that they're not getting into that situation is what we've discussed before. But in Chinese medicine, basically what we do is we look at the whole person holistically, basically treating not only the energetics part of it, and that's one of the myths, that it's only treating energetics. We treat the body just from a musculature point of view. So some of the points that we use are just to relax the muscles because they're so constricted after piling all the stress into our body to hold it up. And then another part of it is also the emotional. So there are specific points that are only for releasing certain emotions. If it's grief, if it's some kind of trauma that's stored in the body, whatever it is, you know, we're dealing with all 3 aspects of that are 100% connected into every illness.
It's interesting as you talk about women and they say they're at the stress point 8. And then when I think of women, I think of these people who care about others, and somehow they don't think that that there is no place for caring about themselves. And it makes me wonder if their child or husband or, you know, mother said to them, oh, my stress level is at 0.8, they would be very concerned about that. But somehow they just don't put themselves into that self-care, you know, caring category that they should kind of do something about. And that's one of my big passions, why I work with women, one of big reasons, and it makes me passionate to work with women, to help them find that meaning in life and kind of find themselves. Because the fact of the matter is, when your mom or your wife is not okay, everybody else is affected by it. And even though you don't show it, you know, they feel it as well. So,
and usually we do show it.
Right, we do. You know, we all know we you know, show it by different emotions or what we do or what we don't do. But it's important that you actually model for your family, for your daughters, for your sons, to how to take care of yourself properly and put yourself first. Not always first, but, you know, put yourself
higher in the list.
Right. I know it's going to be stretched to put themselves first all the time.
Yes. Well, I think women are getting better at it because I see just the shift of women that are, and maybe it's this area a little more than other areas, but I feel that women are doing more for themselves. They are spending more time with friends and spend more time on themselves and on improving themselves, on making their life more stress-free. I do see that shift in the past maybe 5 years of women actually realizing this is not normal, this is not okay, and no one else is going to do anything about it except for me. I have to change my life. So I do see that women are taking more time to do that. Also men, it depends on, you know, which community. They're actually spending more time on, let's say, yoga or meditating and kind of bringing themselves back to center or to balance, however you want to see it. But there's always more to do.
Definitely. Are there any other myths that you can tell me about your practice of acupuncture?
Well, a lot of people think it's very painful, or they had a bad experience in the past of someone that hurt them and they don't want to try it again, just like in chiropractic or massage. Sometimes you have a bad experience and then you never want to go back. There are different kinds of practitioners, different styles of acupuncture. The needles that I use are very, very thin. They're like hair, and a lot less painful than getting your blood taken. And most people say that they feel no sensation after the initial insertion of the needle, and the opposite, they feel sometimes a release of energy, sometimes they feel almost like there's a pressure, like someone is pushing on the point, even though I'm obviously not putting hand pressure. Yeah, so it's very interesting to see how they feel the energy moving, but most people just report amazing sensations after the treatment of just relaxation. They sleep better, their posture changes when you see them walking out of the room. Even if I didn't do anything for physical, even if I did a completely emotional or energetic treatment, you see their, basically what we call the Shen, their spirit is very much enlightened after they leave the treatment.
So it's like important to work with somebody that you can trust, that you know is more experienced, and give it a try. And maybe if it doesn't work with that one person, maybe there is another one. Same in psychotherapy. It's not even that this is a better therapist than somebody else, but it could be that you resonate with one person, you know. And when somebody comes to me, I don't use all the interventions for all the people equally. I get to sense, okay, for this person saying that, you know, it's not even so conscious. It's more very profound and intuitive. And I think that comes with years of practice doing this kind of work in both cases.
Definitely. I think a lot of people are in their head when they're doing treatments, and they're thinking of everything that they've learned and how they can basically utilize that to help the person in front of them. But sometimes you have to just disconnect from the knowledge that you have and understand that it is in there. And you don't have to be here when you're treating a person. You have to be everywhere, basically. And trust your intuition when something tells me put the needle there, even though if I open the textbooks, it's not, you know, indicated 100%. Most points kind of work for a lot of things, but you know, sometimes you just have to feel, and then they say, oh my God, this treatment changed everything for me. And you just say, okay, well.
And that comes with years of practice and working on yourself. Actually, as a therapist, I too have to work on myself, whether it's like doing my own therapy or doing some of this other body work, emotional work. What's the best way for audience to contact you?
The best way to contact me is either through my website, agourawellness.com, or Sharon Davida acupuncture.com. Both of them.
I will put this into the resources.
All right. So basically, you can just contact me through there, or you'll have my phone number there and all the information of how and what to expect from a treatment, or how acupuncture feels, what does it do. It's all in there, and you're always welcome to stop in and tour our wellness center and meet all the other practitioners that are in here that are all amazing.
What are other services that you provide besides acupuncture?
In our wellness center, we have Dr. Michael Shore, an excellent chiropractor that's been in the business for many, many years, and very successful in our area of Agoura Hills. And we have 3 amazing massage therapists that I am very experienced with massage, and all of them are top of the line massage therapists. And we have also Dr. Sandra Sato, that's also a chiropractor, and we are all working together to just bring very holistic approach to healing. We deal a lot with changing the lifestyle that a person has and helping them in finding tools to be well after they leave. We're not the kind of practice that wants people to just come and come and come. We want people to go out there and live a healthy life and to the full extent of how their life should be. So we give a lot of advice for nutrition and lifestyle that will help them.
Okay. And is there any gifts that you are providing to our listeners?
Sure. As always, I always offer a free consultation over the phone to kind of give you an idea of how acupuncture can help you and what's the potential result from getting the treatment. And for the listeners, I would like to offer a free cupping session while they're getting their initial consultation. So when they come in for treatment, we'll also enjoy this ancient therapy of cupping.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to add? Did we miss anything? Thank you very much.